Everyone, welcome to Backyard Musings. I'm Steve. I'm broadcasting from Apple Valley.
And I'm Scott, and I'm in Littleton, Colorado, in the secret bunker.
He's doing the UFO. He's on assignment for UFOs.
Yeah,
Thank you, Scott, for
sure.
taking it for the team on that one.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it. Crazy news today, and it's just being picked up. I pieced this story from three sources. Crazy, and what some are calling the most casualty-producing event between aggressors since World War II at 3:45 local time for Lebanon yesterday. Up to 4,000 pagers equipped by Hezbollah fighters and leadership simultaneously exploded.
Amazing.
It is. And so to put some perspective in this, I looked up. This is the most casualty producing event between two aggressors since D-Day. D-Day, United States had 5,000 casualties, 2,500 dead. It is crazy. It seems like it should be straight out of an FX The Americans episode because of the clever planning and stealth required to pull it off. I mean, that's what I first thought of, The Americans. First problem, how to get Hezbollah to stop using cell phones and start using pagers. Next problem, how to get explosives into 4,000. Well, hold on. Going back to the start using pagers. Easy. Assassinate two of their top leaders, which they did in June, right? Next problem, how to get the explosives into 4,000 pagers. Pagers just don't explode by themselves, all by themselves all of a sudden. Easy. Intercept the shipments and install explosives. Final problem, how to keep it a secret until the operation is ready to ignite. Easy. Kill any opposition who finds out about it. Strap in, because Scott is going to take us on a ride.
Okay, so we're gonna report a source here, which is, you can take this for what it's worth, but the New York Times reported that at least 11 people were killed and 4,000 wounded, some 500 critically, all across Lebanon. The wounded reportedly included civilians as well as Hezbollah fighters, although the reports could not immediately be verified. Among those injured were pagers. When pagers exploded, included Iran's ambassador to Lebanon, Mojtaba Amani, as reported by Iranian state media. Smoking gun evidence included that Iran is backing Hezbollah. Predictably, the Israeli government is not making any comments, although I think they did make a comment this morning that this is their deal. I think they did. U.S. State Department spokesman Matt Miller denied that the U.S. was involved or had any knowledge of the incident prior to the explosions. This is quoted by Miller. I can tell you that the U.S. was not involved in it. The U.S. was not aware of the incident in advance, Miller told the reporters, including that the U.S. is gathering information on the incident. How did it happen, Steve?
Well, we'll get into that. I was talking with my wife this morning, and it's no wonder the United States quickly is saying we didn't have anything to do with it. My wife was saying that this might be what turns everyone against Israel because of using pagers to explode and injure people. And then she reminded me, but that October 7th attack against Israel, they did some awfully terrible things to civilians, babies and women, did some terrible things. So
well, we still got people missing, right? They've still got
hostages. Yeah, U.S. Yeah, and Israeli, but U.S. Yeah. So the most plausible theory is that this was a supply chain attack. Let me get that up on the screen here. All right. Yeah, here we go. This was a supply chain attack which created a Trojan horse. After suffering a series of assassinations of top operatives, remember I said that, during months of low-level war with Israel, this summer Hezbollah ordered its fighters to destroy their mobile phones. They were too easy to track and too readily compromised by Israel's skilled military hackers. Hezbollah decided to use couriers for word of mouth. Communications over wire would be limited to 1980-style pagers with none of the vulnerabilities of smartphones, Hezbollah sources told Reuters in July. According to the Daily Wire, Israel reportedly infiltrated Hezbollah's supply chain and rigged thousands of pagers with pentaerythritol tetranitrate, PETN, a highly explosive material, which is, you can, I got a picture of it here. Let me advance. There we go. There it is. Um, uh, in which the perpetrators, supply chain check, in which the perpetrators, and although they're not commenting, that most likely certainly means the Israeli security services had physical access to the devices to embed the explosive. These devices are being reported were made in Taiwan. And we're going to comment on that later. Remind me about that, Scott.
Okay, so the impacted devices appeared to have included rugged pagers developed by the Taiwanese company Gold Apollo, according to reporters at Bellingcat. Security sources told Reuters that the devices had been procured in recent months. The charge could be set to trigger on receipt of a particular message or even simply timed to explode with an old-fashioned timer. Ironically, the attack came hours after Israel's domestic security agency said that it had foiled a similar, though much smaller scale plot by Hezbollah. So, yeah.
Yeah, according to the Daily Wire, Israel's original plan was to detonate pagers in the event that it entered a full-blown war with Hezbollah, so it would have a clear advantage at the outset of fighting. A1 Monitor reported. However, Israel was forced to detonate the pagers quickly after it learned that two Hezbollah members figured out that the pagers had been breached. When the first member of Hezbollah suspected foul play several days ago, he was killed. When the second member figured out that the devices had been compromised, Israel was forced to make a decision. They killed him, and then they detonated them. So going back to Taiwan. So just an interesting little side note. I wonder if the Hezbollah thinks maybe because it came from Taiwan that China is attacking Hezbollah. And it'll be interesting to see what China says, because China claims that Taiwan is their land. It's their Chinese
Right.
people.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So if they know it's coming from Taiwan, I wonder if they think China is an aggressor too. Very interesting side note. But this whole thing is crazy. And it's not, I mean, just this morning it's gaining steam. And we learned this morning that handheld walkie-talkies were used. This news is developing. Handheld walkie-talkies too.
I guess it goes back to the simple fact that don't underestimate Israel. They're quite capable of defending themselves and doing what they need to do to fight these aggressors. And they are. Hamas, Hezbollah, they could all go away and life would be good over there. I think, in general, Israel would be happy. But they're not. And as long as they're continue to be funded by Iran, right, and maybe a few other organizations or terrorist states, it's going to happen. And Israel's not going to back down. I mean, they're going to defend themselves. And they've proven that, obviously, with this being, kind of a James Bond kind of stuff. This is cool stuff. Amazing. And so
it reminds us of Ukraine, with the hydrogen bomb,
exactly.
clever.
Getting very creative. Yep. Yeah. Very creative in what they need to do. And, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. And this is how the other guys did it, like with their little suicide vests. And I don't know. It's fascinating. So stay tuned, I guess.
Folks, we want to hear your comments. Let us know. Do you think that this was because it produced some civilian casualties? A daughter of two Hezbollah fighters, man and woman, was injured from the pagers too. So tell us if you think that this attack was beyond the scope of armed conflict, or if it was justified based on that October 7th attack. Please let us know. We want your comments, please. Talk to your friends about it too and see what they say and let us know.
Yeah, and I mean, at least it was somewhat intricate, right? I mean, they weren't going out there and bombing a whole stadium or taking these guys out at one of their family functions. They were doing it kind of in a safe way, I guess, if you can call it that. That might be the wrong word to use, but I don't know.
Safest way possible. But you had mentioned that Iranian ambassador to Lebanon was injured too, so he must have had a pager, which is that's the smoking gun that Iran is backing all this.
Yeah, why would he need a pager to communicate with Hezbollah? Good question, right? So
it looks like a duck, talks like a duck. It must be a duck.
Probably so. Yep, I'll shoot it. So
all right, folks. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll bring more information as we get it.
Yep, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.